With Nyoken, we have survived an entire season. Barely in Nyoken's case. How are you feeling today, Nyoken?
I'm doing good now. Went
Okay.
back to the doctors, got more medicine. Now I feel pretty good.
Did he prescribe you a double dose of hype for the grand finals?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, well, good doctor. Okay, so despite no audience for most major esports events in South Korea, we have you guys, the best audience for the BSL Season 8 Grand Finals. We've got 2 matches coming your way, a best of 5 for our 3rd, 4th place match, and then coming up a best of 7 after that, where we really force players to play every map and decide which player will be crowned the champion of BSL Season 8. Who's it going to be? I've been seeing some mixed opinions out there, Nyoken.
Yeah, so I read on Team Liquid that they think Gorinich is going the distance, which is shocking because how can anybody ever question Bonnet? He just looks so good.
Never believe what you guys read on the internet. And same thing for the 3rd, 4th place match. We've got our man, Bob Malcolm, the Spanish caster or Spanish language caster, rooting for the Peruvian hope in Dandy, who's going to be playing against Payam Toyam TT1 in the 3rd, 4th place match, which we'll be starting out with. So you guys have tuned in to the best day of BSL. Until the next best day of BSL next season, we'll have some special announcements after the show about BSL Season 9 after we crown a champion. So you guys will want to stick around for that. So I think we covered everything. We're going to get into our 3rd, 4th place match as a little bit of an appetizer for BSL Season 8 finals. So let's talk about it. Okay, we got TT1 versus Dandy.
This is actually a rematch.
It is?
We had this earlier.
That's right.
And Dandy crushed TT1.
It was not close.
It was not close.
No.
So,
but time has passed.
Yes.
TT1 has been studying build orders diligently.
Has he?
I don't know, dude. Well, that's the question, right? Is how do our players prepare, not only for maybe some weird maps that we might have in BSL, we've been tested a couple times, maybe we'll see it in the finals, I don't know. But how much do they prepare for their opponents? Because the first time around, TT1 did not, it's not that he didn't look prepared, it's just that when Danny was waxing on, there was no wax off build order. Like, we never figured out how to deal with it.
So TT1's going to have improved quite a bit in the last few weeks if he wants to take out Dandy, because they were convincing wins. Now I'm in Discord with TT1. So I know he's been practicing quite a bit. So hopefully he is up to skill, because I'd like to see a close series, whether he wins or loses. I'd like to see it close, like 3-2. But I think it's hard to argue against Dandy in this series. I think probably a bit of a favorite, but you know, I rooted for him on Twitter, though.
That's true. That's true. If you guys, I forced Nyoken under pain of death to compose a tweet. And if you haven't seen this tweet, you can go to Nyoken's Twitter, where he both liked and retweeted his own tweet. So we tried. Okay, one step at a time. We're all making progress here. So let's make some progress into the first game of our best of 5 3rd, 4th place match, our appetizer for the BSL Season 8 Grand Finals. The map is going to be Heartbreak Ridge. It's going to be TT1 versus Dandy. Let's get into game number 1. Okay, here we are on Heartbreak Ridge in the 9 o'clock location in the brown as Terran. This is our Peruvian player, Dandy.
And the bottom right, we've got the Canadian Protoss, who is up to no good already. If you watch my stream, this is why you veto this map, because we've got some shenanigans.
Where do you hide your pylon? You hide it.
It doesn't matter.
You hide it here,
Anywhere.
here. Where does it go? It goes anywhere you want it, and it's always going to be in the one spot you do not scout. And I think to answer our question from earlier, clearly TT1 has been thinking,
oh, this is in-bait skate.
Oh my God. The most downest and dirtiest of cheeses. You scout all the proxy locations, you don't scout there.
No, and this is not like old school Terran where you go for walls often. Dandy, where's the depot being built? In his main, right next to the minerals. So he has no idea this is here. This is gonna be the fastest Zealot that Dandy has probably ever faced. This might even be 2-gate, but it doesn't have to be. This is a 7-gate, pretty much the fastest gateway you can possibly do versus Terran. So Dandy has no idea that this is coming.
Now, does he try to sell it by sending the probe back out and then scouting normally?
Yes, so you can do that. Oh,
okay. No.
It's still barely out of range from that barracks. But yeah, you can do that. There's a very, well, I think it's a famous game of Harangi versus Nada. And Harangi did some work in ASL earlier today. So if you have not seen Harangi versus Nada on this map also, you should watch it because there's a lot of mind games in this one. But Dandy, oh my goodness.
Where's our Marine? Oh, he scouted it. Oh, he's so good. How does he know?
Why?
Now,
why would you scout this?
Now, is it too late?
It's too late because when you have an in-base gate, you have to pull, the magic number is 5. Now, look how many he's pulling for this. This still isn't even enough. This Zealot is going to get out 100% of the time.
And we can micro with our probe, try to pick off an SCV. That's just pulling more off. The Zealot comes out, and already we're in a little bit of trouble. Is he going to be able to get this gateway down? I don't think so. One SCV goes down. I guess he will be able to take it out, but how many SCVs we lose in here? Do we get a second Zealot? Oh my God, it's going to be close.
He might actually get a second Zealot out. He's killing so many. Oh, he's not going to get a second Zealot, but regardless, that was worth. He killed how many SCVs? He did a 7-gate, and he's up 2 workers right now.
Well, he also lost a bunch of mining time from pulling like 70% of his workers off here. Now, how good is this drill? That's pretty good. That Zealot got like 1 attack off, and we got a Marine out.
Yeah, that's about as good as he's going to get right there.
Oh, we're diving.
Now, behind this, TT1, he started his gateway again. He's got his assimilator coming up. Now, remember, Dandy has gas, but he's not mining, so he can't build a factory anywhere. He's just got to make sure this Zealot doesn't deal crippling damage, which it already has. So I think TT1 is actually like already primed to take this game. Already up 3 workers.
Ooh. And what does it cost? It costs 1 gateway. And I mean, he already has that gateway rebuilt back at home. His probe count, like you said, now up 4 workers. We're feeling good about that opener. And it's not even like that's all in. You know, that's what's crazy about some of these cheesy starts is that we can just play a normal game from here on out.
So he dealt enough damage to balance out the 7-gate. And now Dandy hasn't even restarted mining gas now. Ooh. Meanwhile, Cybernetics is close to being done. So Dandy is in big time trouble unless he can get a factory up. But if he gets a factory up, that means he's cutting into his mineral income, which means it's going to cut into his command center econ or income. And TT1, he's already got almost 400 minerals, so he's going to be able to put down a Nexus pretty soon. Well, here comes 3 Marines now.
Oh, I mean,
3 Marines are strong, but this isn't Zerg, so
Please don't hurt me, 3 Marines.
One of them is within 1 shot, so he's going to turn around. It did at least force out 2 Zealots, which TT1 didn't want to build. But other than that, not much damage really these Marines can deal. Factory's about to finish. Now, something to note here, Dandy's all in because he took so much damage. He's just going to risk it all. He called up Artosis. What do I need to do, man? 2 fact is what he said.
It's actually unreal. As soon as we go to qualifiers, Artosis, so the night before, we'll go over like Artosis build orders. Like, all right, in this situation, I'm doing this. As soon as the pressure's on, as soon as we lose our first game in the qualifiers, straight to 2-gate. You know, it is a great way to maybe catch your opponent off guard. But if you're TT1, you don't need to take any risks at this point.
No, and you see that even though he doesn't know what Dandy's going for, he's built a 2nd gate because I think he knows the only way I can possibly lose is I miss micro some type of fight. Lose too many goons to like a spider mine, something like that. So he's preemptively building a 2nd gate. He's going to get out a ton of goons. 4 is the magic number to kill tanks in 2 shots and vultures and Marines. Wow, what a unit the goon is. So Dandy's in big time trouble here. Also, it's Heartbreak Ridge. So you sit on these ledges.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Push you?
Yeah, are you going to push up a ledge?
No.
No.
Okay.
That's a lot of Marines.
Yeah, this is quite a few. Now, one thing Artosis will also do when he gets like gas stolen or something, he'll go Bio versus Protoss. And it's not like you can't do it, but I don't think you can do it in this situation. And certainly it's not what we see here. We got 2 packs on the way. First tank is about to come out. And I really like that TT1 pushed up Sano Expo, countered the Marines, and then just backed off.
Yeah, and this is going to be mega all-in from Danny. It's probably be maybe even like 12 Marines. He's continually building them. He's got double factory, which means we're going to be going for like Jojo-esque tight push. It's going to be 3 tanks followed up with rallied speed vultures and mines. Now behind this, TT1, I am a little surprised that he saw all this and there's no robotics. Instead, he builds a Nexus. I guess he is.
Yeah, isn't Robo just like the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, now, it's not often you would think that a Terran would go for a 2-fact follow-up because it's so slow to go for this. Like, look how many goons he already has, and he has 2 zealots.
I mean, oh, look at that. We save our Dragoon with 1 HP. We're micro into the high ground. We're getting the hits off. There's more Dragoons reinforcing. Oh, we're massacring the Marine count. How many Marines did he just kill there? It's like, I don't know, 8, 9? We got 4 Dragoons. We got 5 Dragoons. Oh, no, 1 tank down, 2 tank down, 3 tanks down. Oh, my God. We don't even have mines yet.
This is why you don't push on Heartbreak Ridge. No vision, lose all your Marines, and then Dragoons just hop on the tanks. And we don't have mines yet. It's close, but close doesn't matter when goons are in your base.
You can put that on the Nyokin t-shirt. Close doesn't matter when there's goons in your base. You gonna cancel mines? No, they actually do finish. So, I mean, that's gonna be maybe enough to, are we targeting the mines down? Oh, 1 gets burrowed. Oh, we lose a Dragoon. Doesn't matter when there's Dragoons in your base. A wise man once said.
And another thing that doesn't matter is we got 32 probes versus 20 SCVs. Meanwhile,
and a Nexus.
Goons are still alive.
Yeah. Well, this game may...
Oh, is it him?
Oh, it's him! How does he do it?
Microing
is that Bisu?
Microing versus those mines. And this has got to be Dandy tapping out. We got nothing.
Yeah. This game is OVER over. So Dandy taps out, and we have a very, very fast game 1. I think it's safe to say that TT1, he's been brushing up a little bit since the last time they played.
Yeah, because that's a very unusual thing that TT1 just did there. I don't think I've ever seen him 7-gate. If this was somebody like Oya.
We're not playing ranked now.
We're not playing ranked. My bad.
I was about to get into a ladder game over here.
Just my habit. Queue up ladder, lose Q ladder, win Q ladder. That's all I do is
he sees the Terran player lose, and it's like, okay, we got to go next.
We just got to go next.
All right. Well, wow, what a game number 1. TT1 landing the first blow in this best of 5, but game number 2 is coming up, and it's on Neo Sylphid. So, it's loser picks. So I don't know what Sylphid seems like the standard 3-player map. I don't know if this really gives Dandy like necessarily an advantage, but if anything, your base is even bigger, so there's more spots to hide your gateway.
Yeah, you can hide your gate on a lot of positions.
Yeah.
But I think Sylphid is actually favored for Terran when I looked at Spawn Bang, so I don't think it's a shocker for Dandy to pick this. Also, it was in ladder last season, so tons of practice on it. But yeah, this is throwing a wrench into Dandy's idea of TT1 because I don't think of TT1 as someone that does stuff like that.
No, TT1 is the 12 Nexus guy, okay?
Yes, he is.
Or something else super weird. But let's find out what's in store for us as we get into game number 2 of this best of 5 third, 4th place match between TT1 and Dandy. Okay, here we go. In the 12 o'clock location, spawning at the top of the map, Neo Sylphid in the green from Canada playing Protoss. It's TT1.
And in the bottom left, we've got the Peruvian hope, Bob Malcolm's hope. It is Dandy. So I would like TT1 to do it again, but I don't think he's going to. We don't see a probe being sent out. I don't think it's going to be like a 9-gate in the center of the map, but we could have a forward gate, which is liked by many players such as Bonnet and TT1. TT1 still loves it in Protoss versus Zerg, but it looks like we're not going to have that because Probe still hasn't gone out. It is just going to be standard. Now, I'm curious to see what Dandy's reaction would be, because if I'm Dandy, I'm already discrediting, proxy gate, maybe forward gate, but no proxy gate. So that might mean that this could trigger something like 14 command center potentially. We'll have to wait and see.
I think at least most of the time when I see Dandy, he's just racks expanding, which obviously, he would have liked to do. But he was actually going for gas in that first game, even though it never really came into play. He was not going for something like a racks expand or anything aggressive. So maybe he just tries that build order again. And yeah, look at what we're doing up here. We're making sure that there's nothing. Actually, he hasn't really scouted. I thought he was going to do like a little bit of a detour scout to make sure the rest of his base didn't have a probe in it. Because if you send like probe 5, then you're going to get there in time before those SCVs would have scouted the probe coming in. So.
Well, this looks like it's going to be gasless because the only reason you're going to scout this fast is because you want to scout the center and see if you need a second barracks or not.
But he's not scouting the center, though.
Yeah, it's a bit unusual. I guess you could... Yeah, I am surprised, but he is just going to find TT1 first, which is great for him. So this is going to be a gasless expand, which is kind of risky when you put your racks in this position because there's no SimCity at your natural. So... I'm curious why he put it there. Maybe he uses the command center to wall off with another depot, but regardless, doesn't matter because no zealots are, or a zealot is coming, but it's not a forward gate, so we're not too worried. Cybernetics coming in, everything normal. There is the on-location command center.
Okay. So this looks actually pretty good, and as long as his marine micro is okay, this zealot coming out shouldn't be super crazy. Every once in a while, you'll see a Protoss that tries to skip this zealot and just like play super greedily, and I don't know. I feel like if you don't make this zealot, then you just have nothing to say about what the Terran does. And I mean, if TT1 can get the zealot across and maybe at least get this information, I don't know. I feel like he'll be in an okay spot. But obviously, this is Dandy getting to do his build order. Nothing has been shut down, or I guess nothing's really happened at all this game.
Yeah. Now, funnily enough, I think TT1 may already know it's gasless without even scouting because the SCV was there so fast. So he may have already planned for this gasless expand before the zealot got here. And in response, he has built a second goon. There is no nexus coming up, so he's going to be putting on a lot of pressure, the maximum amount of pressure you can possibly put onto this bunker. And Dandy, meanwhile, I think got a bit greedy taking his gas because it seems a little late.
Well, he sees his SCV was able to scout that there was no expo and more Dragoons coming out. So he's just really got perfect information. And, obviously, guys like Flash, you expect to have perfect information, so he knows exactly what to do at every point in time. This time around, when he is going to be able to land that bunker, we running by? Is this the B-rank ladder Protoss? Oh my God, no, not like this. A perfect pull for the SCV wall. Kills the Dragoon, can't get it behind the mineral line, and yep.
Yeah, doesn't get anything done there. One SCV, and actually, that is kind of a big deal because TT1 doesn't know that this factory is super late. He could have been putting on tons of pressure with goons. Like, he already has 3 out. He's going to have 4 soon. Factory is halfway done.
Does that SCV like regenerate hit points or something? How is it still alive when there's like 8 Dragoons out?
Well, it's because an SCV has infinite health, right? It's the strongest worker in the game. It's
how does it have so much?
I have
it's
no
a
idea.
Little Gundam. That's
Needs
what they call them in Korea. It's Gundams.
Well, we finally have the Nexus for TT1, and we have a very late Robo because he's trying to continually put pressure onto this bunker. I'm a bit sad he lost the Goon because pulling off.
Wait, did he?
Yeah, he just killed that immortal SCV coming back.
Okay.
Pulling off like 5 SCVs in this scenario really kills your econ as a Terran when you're going gasless. So that is really unfortunate. Now, meanwhile, Dandy, I guess, feels like something's missing because remember, he didn't see a Nexus for a long time. He didn't see tech for a long time. All he saw was goons being built. So he's being very safe, built an eBay, built an academy also, and has turret coming up. I don't know about this zealot.
What are we doing there? Oh my God. Have a free zealot.
Yeah, so zealot just dies for free. Again, I don't think it's a huge deal. Meanwhile, another Nexus for TT1, just Protoss things.
Oh boy, yeah. We're putting on pressure, expand behind it. Well, I mean, donating that zealot and the previous Dragoon, I feel like that's actually a pretty big deal because now its harassment isn't really that scary. I mean, it's 4 Dragoons, but siege mode will be done. Actually, siege mode is maybe 25% done. So there's no tank out, no anything. And I think Dandy probably feels okay at this point. Are we gonna start diving and picking up SCVs?
No, he's not gonna die on this. Dandy's gonna have siege pretty soon, but TT1 does have triple Nexus. He also has 1 gate. Also, with the comsat coming up and already having a turret, Dandy's going to insta-scan. And when he sees there's 1 gate, he knows that this was a double expansion.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what his... Okay, he's just going to go command center without scanning at all. I'm shocked.
Really? I feel like Dandy is... If you remember the way that he played in the round of 4, he was absolutely totally fine with just making this the longest game you've ever seen. If he can get up to third base, I think that's the comfort zone for Dandy.
Yeah, and he does scan now. He sees that there is only 2 gates now. He didn't get to see the top right area, which could mean, or he may be worried that there are extra gates being built up there, because it's kind of surprising to scan and only see 2 gates. So I don't know how he's going to react. He does have command center almost done, actually. He starts his armory. Now, his armory is a bit slow for normal Terran versus Protoss openers. This is going to be about a 14-minute max, or 14-minute 2-1 timing, but I think he's going to max before 2-1. So I'm curious if he's just going to go before it hits, or if he's actually just going to build up a huge tank count.
Yeah, this reminds me a lot of, like, if you watch Scan play. He's a big fan of the 2-1 timing. And, I mean, look, it's very, very powerful, but TT1 able to get that very fast third Nexus. I mean, look at his probe count. We're already at 50 probes. And, I mean, obviously the gateway explosion is about to happen here. We're getting all of our tech up. Still doesn't have a forge pumping upgrades, but that's about the... Oh, yeah, he does. Okay, there it is. And it's immediately going to start +1. So... I mean, it's not like he'll be unprepared for this, but do you think it's a wise idea to just let a Terran have 3 bases?
Well, Protoss in response is just instantly going to take a 4th base, most likely. And it's actually very risky what Dandy did here. If there were gateways at the top and he had built a shuttle, we have 4 tanks for defense. Like, we just shuttle bomb and this game's probably over. But that's not what happened this time. So he's gonna get his base up for free. Here comes the factory flood. So this might actually just be a +1 timing with tons and tons of factories. It's funny because he's playing versus TT1, but this is the TT1 style when TT1 plays Terran. He just builds mass units. And what he likes to say is, you just A-move, man. You just build Terran units and you just A-move.
Terran, yeah.
It's
Their
just
units
Terran
are just
units.
better.
They're just better. So TT1 may get a dose of his own medicine, but he does see the factories are coming up way too fast for this to be a 2-1 timing, and in response we have multiple gates coming in. What he needs to get is, we don't need Arbiter, we just need to get Storm. Okay, he's gonna go Arbiter. He needs one or the other, but I personally like Storm better, because Dandy may just attack like at 150, 160, and by then we're gonna have an Arbiter, but we may not necessarily have stasis. Whereas if we get Storm, we're gonna have Storm 100% of the time. So I'm a bit surprised we're gonna go into Arbiters here, but regardless, if he can get either one out and we have stasis, then he's gonna be fine.
Well, he did have TT1 did have the observer scouting the exact timing on all of the factories coming up, and so in response, he did put down a bunch more gateways. He is taking that 4th base, like you mentioned. It should be coming up right about now. Oh, come on. He had 400 minimums.
He may just go hard on the gates.
Okay, like, I respect that. Look, he knows that the timing's out there and possible, so I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, so he does have Arbiter coming out. It's about 15% done. But Dandy... Well, actually, Dandy doesn't have as many factories as I thought he was going to. He is very gas-starved. He doesn't have his gas at his 3rd base at all. He also took his nat gas pretty slow. So
Vultures in the natural.
Yeah, Vultures into the 3rd base. Gonna not really get much damage done.
Ooh. That's a nice pylon wall. Okay, he is actually going to take out a couple of probes. They're on hold position, but... Okay, well, it did get a little bit of damage done, but taking out the Vultures, look, they're basically free, and they had already laid their mines from before, so...
Yes, so this does even up the probe count to the SCV count, but this is still 10 gate. We do have +1 weapon kicking in for TT1, so that's a big upgrade for Protoss. We have Arbiter more than halfway done now. And remember, Dandy is going for a timing. That's what he's doing. So when you harass like this, if you throw away Vultures, that delays your max timing. Now, of course, that gives you more tanks, but generally, when you go for a timing, you aren't throwing away units. So I hope that those kills that the Vultures got were worth it, and he doesn't like just barely lose a fight.
Yeah, that would actually be tragic. It's easier it's easy to like armchair quarterback and say, well, he could have just lost less Vultures there, but he is at least trying to get out on the map and be proactive instead of just doing maximum turtle Terran and just maxing out, like you said, on that 2-1 timing. And as is, I think it is just going to be that +1 that you mentioned. I think it's just about to, it's just about to finish too. So we could be seeing a big scary push towards that 4th.
Yes, so here he comes. He hits right before stasis is going to hit. There's about 40 seconds longer for stasis. Now the question is, can TT1 delay for stasis?
Oh, stasis is done.
He doesn't have the energy. Oh, he's just going to go. Siege was late.
Well, he's going to bulldog on the back of it. All those tanks, but I mean, half the tanks aren't siege. So we're on top of them already. Zealots in the front, taking out all the siege tanks. The other half of our tanks just weren't up.
Yeah, we were missing reinforcements from the vultures, and there was just no support for the tanks, and now we've just wiped out like 10 out of the 14 tanks.
Yeah, and I mean, there are mines, there are vultures, and the zealot count is a little bit low here, but look at that mine drag! Insanity! And, I mean, there are tanks on the, well, I guess that's not high ground, so we don't want to overextend here, but that's a lot of tanks to lose.
Yeah, he lost way too many tanks there. Now, TT1 did lose quite a bit of goons, but remember, Arbiter is still alive. It's not like Elias picked it off or we blew stasis or anything like that. We have 100 energy now. So the next attack, if Dandy can't kill a gateway army with no stasis, it's going to be even harder. And now he's facing 4 base Protoss. He doesn't have his 3rd gas. He's just now taking it. So we don't have tons of gas there. So we can't just go like 4 or 5 add-on and rebuild our tank count really fast. Now behind this, Dandy's actually going to try and play a macro game. He started to build up a starport, but I mean, that might be his best chance to try and transition into that, but he's giving up so much map control to Protoss that I don't know if it's really going to work. Also, he's now giving up energy to Protoss, where now they can just recall as soon as you move out.
And that's the scary thing about Protoss, is that if you don't force out their energy, they just get to build it up. And I mean, it's easy to say, well, isn't it broken to just be able to cast 50 storms? I'm like, well, yeah, but if you just let them have that energy, sure, it's strong. Same thing with recall, because that can certainly be a big way to stop a Terran player from moving out at all. First, we got to run through these mines, and these are more vultures being thrown away. I mean, they are taking out quite a few zealots and maybe harassing the bases a little bit, but let's see if this, what do you think? Is this worth it?
Well, like I said, vultures, you're trading vultures for probes here. The question is it worth it? If Dandy is trying to just camp the game out, this was fine because he got a few zealot kills, he got some probe kills, but we're maxing so fast that I actually think he's going for another time. Damn, he's got a lot of tanks. Dandy is one of the few Terrans that you know without a doubt he is never gonna miss a tank.
How many add-ons?
He only has 2.
Oh
That's what makes it surprising. Is he just doesn't miss them.
That's crazy. Did they just make fast? I don't know. There's this one stat. I was watching the Pylon show the other day. It's Startosis.
Oh, recall.
Starcraft. Oh my god. Never mind. And he even brought in a second Arbiter along with it, so he can just recall back out of here. Either way, it's actually so impressive. Watch him stasis to block the entrance. Oh my god, watch the stasis.
He's gonna try and hold position. He's gonna try and hold. Oh no, he's not.
Oh, I thought he was gonna stasis to block the entrance so that you couldn't get units in there. That would have been the Omega brain play. As is, we're still killing off a ton of depots. There's no more mining in the main. We're still gonna have a ton of Dragoons back in here, and it's gonna force a re-siege. Oh, this is so hard to deal with.
And now Dandy actually dealt with it about probably as well as he's gonna deal with it. He took almost no unit losses. He didn't get stasis at his ramp like I thought, but there's almost 150 energy on this Arbiter again. Do another recall.
I'm waiting for it. You just recall right on that clump of tanks.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, he's coming in. He's coming back in. The recall. Well, also, there's no anti-air here.
There's no anti-air. Oh my god, do it.
Oh, he's thinking about it.
Doing it.
Oh, he wants to do it in the natural. Okay, so wait, what? Why don't you do it on the tanks? Oh, wait, well, I mean, they did on siege, so at least that's going for you. Nice SCV wall to kind of block unintentionally, but the scan comes through. He's going to reveal all the units. The zealots are killing off the tanks behind this.
Now,
so much damage.
Now there's another Arbiter. This time it does again have stasis energy, but he needs to stasis the entrance. He could lock in so much supply. Look how many units are here, and they can just counterattack.
I think he wants to keep doing recalls, keep using that energy, but now that there's Goliath, like, you're on a timer here. So with all these units being donated, I mean, TT1 still has a 30 to 40 supply advantage, give or take. So This is still hard to clean up. It's still dealing damage. This is so rough to deal with.
Regardless, TT1, he's about to just wipe this third base, and then Dandy's basically even mined out there, and at the natural, and at the main, so he has no money. So this is just, Dandy has no income, basically. He's got a fourth base coming up. Meanwhile, TT1 has 5 base. So it's only a matter of time now until TT1 basically just strangleholds Dandy.
Oh, so much, so difficult to deal with. So, I mean, to Dandy's credit, he was able to clear that off. He's trying to get his fourth base up, but I mean, that's going to be a long way off at this point. It's only halfway done making. So, I mean, every time I see a Terran player still alive in the game, there's hope. But TT1 is in a very, very strong position. He's 50 supply up. He's just continually recalling. There's no turrets in the base at all to stop these recalls. We're going in again.
Yeah, another recall. Just so painful. He doesn't even have to kill units at this point. If he kills depots, he's going to get supply blocked. Like, we're going to be 113 out of 80 potentially. Also, he already killed the academy, so killing these comsats are actually impactful.
Yeah. You just can't remake those. And we have limited numbers of comsats because, of course, there's none on the fourth base as well. So it's going to get harder and harder to deal with those arbiters. I guess we do have a science vessel out here, so should maybe focus that down. It survives just barely. Kill it with the arbiter auto attacks. Yeah, he's got one hit. Yeah, the assassin arbiter taking out the science vessel. And these drops just continue to be more and more difficult to deal with.
Yeah, now we have 70 supply lead for TT1. Really, he should just attack the third base while he recalls. There's nothing there. He's got to know there's nothing there because the main hasn't been mining for an eternity for Dandy. Instead, he's just going to attack the fourth base. I don't know how he knows it's there, but he knows it.
I mean, where else are you going to... I guess, yeah, it could be in the 6 o'clock, but...
It's dead.
Yeah, it's totally dead. And that's it. GG. Dandy taps out. And remember when we were asking, did TT1 do his homework?
Yeah.
Is this just going to be a repeat? No. Just as easily as Dandy was able to take out TT1 the first time they played in groups, this time it looks totally different.
It does look totally different because really nothing happened that game. And TT1 just crushed. He just hit his macro and ran him over.
You know, there wasn't even cheese. It's easy to write off game number 1 and say, in-base gateway, haha, wow, okay, you won that game. You're really cool. You really deserve those ladder points. But game number 2 was pretty straight up, and, you know, it felt like Dandy was just totally willing to slow the game down as much as possible, go for that big push. But if you're really banking on that one big push and your tanks aren't sieged for it, then all of a sudden your entire game plan kind of goes out the window. And TT1, after crushing that, just really feels like he kind of speed ran on to victory afterwards.
Yeah, and now TT1's got a good map, Gladiator. He should be feeling very confident, and I'm feeling very confident after seeing the last game. So this might just be a clean sweep for TT1.
It's going to be hard for Dandy to come back, but we've seen comebacks before from Dandy. When he was playing against Eonzer, he made that reverse sweep 3-game comeback, blew our minds. And so if anybody can reverse sweep, it's Dandy. He's done it once. Can he do it again? We're about to find out as we get into game number 3 of this 3rd, 4th place match. It's on Gladiator between TT1 and Dandy. All right, in the upper left-hand corner in the red, playing Terran from Peru, it's Dandy.
In the top right, in the green, he is 1 win away from, I think, making the highest NA finish, getting 3rd place.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's right. Highest NA finish is top 4, right?
Yeah, I think Dragon, Jaeyoon got top 4, but never, I don't think, has there been an NA player to make top 3, so this would be quite the accomplishment.
Wow. Okay, yeah, by the way, guys, get out there, tell your friends that BSL Finals is on. If they're a little bit slow, they'll get here right in time for the finals, and it's going to be absolutely epic. So I know at least some of you guys have Twitter accounts because you followed me on Twitter. If you haven't, do that. But after you follow me on Twitter, tweet about BSL being out there. That's your homework. You can do it while you watch through the magic of the internet. It's possible. So there's your homework assignment. And also watch this game and try to figure out who wins, because it looks like Dandy is struggling. So what do we need to change up here, Nyokin?
Well, he's going to need to have something special because this is 12 Nexus. And what's funny is last game I was thinking TT1 needs to just go standard to set up for a 12 Nexus game, because he already showed aggro. I think it would be too obvious to go 12 Nexus in the follow-up game to have too much of a contrast. So to go play standard to set up for this, I think is perfect. Now again, Dandy is going for gasless. Somehow he's reading this, and this is extremely risky on Gladiator because you get proxied often. Also, he's not scouting the center of the map. How does he do it? Sylphid, he scouts him first.
Yeah.
Gladiator, he scouts him first. Now I'm curious to see what his reaction is, because usually you don't get to see a 12 Nexus this fast while you're going gasless.
Start building that bunker. It's no secret that 12 Nexus is risky, and one of the reasons it's risky is because if your opponent is going for this barracks, they can just rush you down, cancel the Nexus, and you just don't have units. So let's see what Dandy's reaction is. Is he going to go for this and try to play aggressively?
Well, he is, because he built the depot, and
that's right,
he's going to be aggressive simply because of that depot. The depot could have been a faster command center. He doesn't need a Marine at this point. It's going to deal 0 damage. You know that Protoss is going to build a Zealot. So I'm actually surprised that Dandy decided to go for this Marine, because Flash has talked about this. Marines can't beat 12 Nexus anymore. You got to have the Vulture with it.
Oh, that's really interesting.
So I am surprised that he's not even sending it out. I guess he's trying to deny the scout, but this probe is going to suicide to get in here. Oh, maybe it's not. Actually, the Marine was more worth than I thought.
Wow. Okay, so he denies scouting. So that probe, did that see the command center? I don't think so.
No, it's way too far away.
That's actually really a big deal. If there's no command center there and we're about to get rushed, I mean, that's the only piece of information you need at this point.
Yeah, so TT1 is going to respect the fact that there is a potential push coming. He goes double Zealot. That's pretty standard. Meanwhile, Dandy behind it has gotten away with not a 14 command center, but a very fast command center in response to the 12 Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
Now the probe still doesn't see the barracks either, and he doesn't see a bunker. Well, okay, now he's coming in. Now he sees that a bunker is quite late. I think he does have an idea now. Now, what does he want to do? He's going to go 2 goons now. We don't see range just yet, but he may just double expand.
I mean, look, I wouldn't put it past him. TT1, he's got these TT1 builds. It's not a bag of builds. It's more like he reaches under the couch cushions. He finds a build there, and okay, we'll try it. But let's see if he can deal with this SCV, and then from there, make some of these sneaky decisions. That SCV in the last game lived for 1,000,000 years. It looks like this one's going to too.
I think it might be another Nexus. Oh, there it is. I was waiting for him to use that gas because we didn't use it on range. We didn't use it on robotics, but now I see it the natural. There is the robotics. Now, what does Dandy want to do? Because there's no second factory. There's no academy. Now, he did have the SCV in the base, so he did get a full scout off. But this really looks like we're going to have armory play, potentially even the fastest 3rd command center I've ever seen, because I don't see an armory anywhere.
Yeah, I was just waiting for him to expand, but it does look like we're going to have the starport. Okay.
Starport. So he didn't see robotics. He didn't see any tech. He probably thinks that TT1 is double expanding, and one way to punish someone double expanding, get vultures in their main, wipe out a mineral line. They're so cheap.
Yeah, and the bases on Gladiator are pretty big, especially if, in these positions, if you just fly straight across, there's nothing scouting that northern drop location in the back of your base. So could definitely be a way to deal a lot of damage here. And TT1 is, he's just going to build a pylon right there, right as I say that. So very, very good star sense.
Yeah. Now, even though vulture drops can even up the econ, it can also just destroy your own build. So this drop actually has to deal damage. It cannot be we just build a drop and it doesn't do anything. Because Starport, this costs a tank to build.
Yeah, and also Terran Air is just not that great against Protoss.
It's garbage. And with the add-on, it could have been a factor. So it just cuts into your production also. So when your production gets cut into, you didn't deal any damage, all of a sudden Protoss just has free reign over the map.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened when TT1 had free reign last time.
Yeah, he built many units and then also killed us when we moved out. So Dandy needs to get something done with this. But it's, you know, it's cool for me to see, okay, backs up against the wall. Dandy's got to come out with something to deal damage. And it looks like this is it. But is this it, Nyoken?
I don't know if it's it, because I still don't see an armory anywhere. So I'm getting a bit worried that, again, we're setting up for a timing attack after the vulture drop.
What if we go for like an elevator play?
No.
Okay.
Just no.
Look, we got to do something, okay? We're figuring out. So here comes the Observer. This is going to be really the first time in a while that TT1 has any idea what's going on. And when he sees this blinking starport.
If I see a starport blinking as Protoss, I'm putting down not just one Nexus, probably a second Nexus, because I know Terran can have.
He's got no units.
Terran has no units. Protoss doesn't need many units. They got enough goons in the main.
So what if he builds the dropship? Because, you know, when, like, there's no way to see what's in the dropship. So he's hiding the units. He's hiding the true number of units he has in the dropship. He can't know. Does he have 2 units? Does he have 4 units? You can't tell when they're in the drop. I'm just memeing a little bit, but yeah, at this point, you're right. I would absolutely.
Oh God.
Yeah, look at this. He knows exactly. Okay, well, he thought it was coming in from the top, so ironically, it actually does work out almost perfectly.
Yeah, but probes are here. They just drill. It's gonna be minimal losses. Now, funnily enough, Dandy did return his SCVs at his natural. Oh, don't hit that. Okay. No mine hits so far. It is Bisu himself today, taking no damage. So this drop did nothing. And also something that I don't know you saw, but we had 5 SCVs pulled off at the natural for just chilling. Like they just went back like 30 seconds ago. So those are 5 SCVs that could have been mining. Now, like I said, what I tell you, I felt like Dandy was going to follow up with a timing. Now, remember, he went for a timing last game. His build did not get disrupted. Now we have a disrupted build because we went for the starport, and TT1 sees it with his observer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know necessarily assume that the Protoss always just has an observer, but look, if you're going to go for a delayed timing like this, you need to make sure that it's going to be useful. And when it's scouted, when it's delayed, when the drop is just completely shut down, you did no damage with that. I don't know if that's the one we're looking for. I mean, TT1 is taking the most vulnerable base on this map as his third base, so if we go for a push, that's a great one to do it. It's on low ground right in front of a pizza wedge, so if you get siege tanks on there, I mean, it's okay. He's just got to get there.
Yes, so we do have the armory done, and it's about 25% of the way for this +1 weapon to kick in. That means we've got about 2 minutes left for it to complete. Now that means that this Arbiter is going to be out because it's 1:40 for the Arbiter. And that means that we may actually have stasis energy this time for TT1. Now, Dandy does have good positioning, and he's actually just moving across the map with his
tanks. We got 5 tanks.
I think this Nexus is dead, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very strong timing. I actually thought that TT1 was going to have a little bit more here, but he does not. And yeah, the Nexus is going to die.
Now, it's still okay. He can lose this Nexus, even though it is 2 base versus 2 base. This is still 12 Nexus versus, you know, a slightly later command center. But the main thing for TT1 is he has Arbiters, whereas Terran does not have the 2-1 time. Okay, he may actually have it because he's got his science facility coming in, so he may be rushing +2, but
TT1 is supply blocked. That definitely hurts, especially when you're supply blocked on 114. You want to be at like 120, 130 easily at this point, if not higher like we saw in that previous game. But we've got a high zealot count right here, but the problem is you got to run up that high ground. It sucks.
Yeah, now TT1 does need to get another base because he's got 58 probes, which is way more than you need for 2 bases. Here comes another drop, but a cannon is already set up. Arbiter does show itself, so Dandy does know what he's dealing with. He does know that the Arbiter just popped, so he doesn't have to worry about stasis right now. But these 5 tanks on the high ground, he either needs to send them back in 30 seconds or so, or he needs to sync up his army, because if we stasis these 4 tanks, we're just going to lose, like, you know, all this for free.
I think we're gearing up. We're about to go for it. I'm not sure what stasis energy, what energy does that Arbiter have right now? It's 72. Okay, so we're going to buy like 20 seconds, and Dandy, how does he know? Brilliant unsiege timing. He knows he's about to hit that Arbiter energy. and heads back to his third base.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even though TT1 lost his Nexus and Dandy had defense set up there, well, we can just run around that. We don't care about that.
Actually, check the minimap. Okay, we do have legs. Never mind. I thought those were legless zealots for a second.
I don't know about this attack. This is a bit much. Now, he does have stasis in 5 seconds. Oh.
Okay, there's the siege, the decent spread on those tanks.
Oh my god.
Can he hit that? Oh, this tank line's so deep.
Oh my god.
Oh, we're gonna EMP. Arbiter, got the energy.
He didn't EMP. This was an anti-timing from TT1. He had the energy, but instead didn't cast stasis at any point. He also had a shuttle that he never sent, and he didn't send any reinforcements across the map because he doesn't want to just move into these mines that were set up at the third base.
I mean, he does have an observer there, so he can start to clear those mines. It's not like he left a bunch of tanks behind to defend that location. I think TT1 is like, okay, well, I want to be active. I want to be out on the map. Time to take some Nexi. Except that there's mines dropped at every other base that he wants to take. So he takes the only one that he can, but that's definitely not the one he wants because it's mineral only.
Yeah, but he's going to take a 4th base pretty fast. It's going to be going down pretty soon. He does have what looks like 8-9 gate. Meanwhile, Dandy still has 6 factory, which is great for him. He's got EMP coming in. He's got his 2-1 started.
4 bases.
He's got 4 base coming in.
5 bases almost.
And he does have a close supply, 150 to 130. That's not bad. But what is bad is we don't have any turrets set up on the left side of the map. And we could have a potential recall coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Or even just like a push. We're on top of it. A couple of mines in a great spot. Yeah, no recall, or at least it's not researched just yet. No siege tanks on the high ground. Uh-oh.
Oh,
why are our tanks not sieged?
Dandy's sending out a bunch of tanks on the right side. EMP went off, but it missed.
Uh-oh. I think he has maybe one more. Uh-oh, we're on top. The shuttle runs in and goes down. So that's obviously not what we wanted there.
But I think he's just setting up for recall because recall is done now. He's got his arbiters in position, but there's not a lot of zealots in this army. So this is going to be an expensive recall if he goes for it. Dandy's setting up to get off of EMP. It needs 1 energy.
EMP. Oh, we got it.
But that's the one with stasis. That's not the important one.
Okay. All right, we got recall energy over here. Are we going for it? Where's our turrets?
Oh, all of his tanks are sieged up and they're all bunched up.
Oh, and they're blocking it. They're blocking the entrance. The recall goes off. It's not actually a very big
the armories. The armories are gonna go down right before +2 hits.
Hit that production tab. Let's see if he's gonna catch it. Oh my God, he's gonna get it.
He got armor is down. He doesn't know that this is. Oh my, he just lost +2 weapon.
Oh my God, there's no +2 weapons. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. +2 weapons go down. He snipes both armories, and he's out of siege range in that upper left-hand corner. So we're gonna have to re-siege even to take this down. Oh, that bottleneck. Oh, the bunker was bottlenecking the tanks so they couldn't get back into the main.
Yeah, just a catastrophe for Dandy. And TT1 killed the 2 most important buildings in the game. Meanwhile, he's taken 4 bases now. It's Gladiator. It's so hard for Terran to try and split the map themselves. So now Dandy's in a world of hurt. What can he do? Can he go attack? Not really. TT1's going to have his +2 weapon power spike in the next 30 seconds.
And where's Dandy's +2 weapon power spike?
Yeah, and he lost his command center building the 4th base. So it's 3 base Terran, 3 gas is great, but he's only got 1 on gas at the 3rd base. So it's not like he has even a ton of gas. Meanwhile, he's spamming out vessels. We have 4 vessels. That's so many potential tanks that he could have built.
Yeah, we need some potential tanks to be actual tanks here because Dandy is supply blocked at 155 out of 150. And he's being pushed back onto that pizza wedge. He does have some siege tanks, but we got stasis energy again. Actually, does he have an arc?
Oh, no, the mine drag!
Oh my God, the mine drag! He doesn't mine drag, but the tanks explode anyway. Zealots run out, so he's gonna hold the high ground there, but not the position Danny wants to be in at all.
Well, he didn't lose that much there, but he still has so many vessels in such a low tank count. He's got 4 tanks in his main. He's got what looks like 8 at his nat. So really, it's 11 tanks, really not very much. Now he just realizes that his armories have died.
Yeah, he's building double engineering bay. I don't know about that. But double armory right there at the front. All right, we got to protect him. So that's where they're at. Clear out the minefield. It's a little bit of a whoopsie, but 4 bases up. I mean, TT1's got to feel great about his position here.
Yeah, he's got 4 bases. He's also got a low probe count, which I've been seeing more often these days. Protoss players are going for a much bigger army to try and just overwhelm the Terran. And we see that Dandy has 70
70?
But he's not going to be mining on 3 bases. He's going to be on like 2 base pretty soon.
Why do we got 70 SCVs?
So he's definitely oversaturated at this point. He needs another base if he wanted to have good saturation. Still, 3rd base, no SCVs mining that gas. It's only 1. Here comes another recall. Mines would probably do work here.
Okay, all right. We're thinking twice about that one. He did bring the obs up to make sure that there weren't mines.
Oh, no!
Uh-oh. Oh, my God! This is an Ioken move. What are we doing? We unsieged and ran to low ground. And now we're getting chased back by all the zealots. The science vessel dies to stasis on the tanks in the back, sandwiching the tanks to their doom. They will all die to the zealots we're pushing in. There is a deep siege line here. We have another stasis, maybe, but doesn't look like we'll be able to finish it.
Hank's a pretty good unit. I'm surprised he actually killed so much stuff there, but also TT1 saved his energy. He has almost 2 stasis still available.
There's some sexy vulture harass coming in behind this, and they will rightly scout that because there's no base at that mineral only, it must be somewhere else. He was also able to kill another base coming up, so... Oh, actually, no, he wasn't. Never mind. We still got another base. So 4 bases for TT1, and still only now maybe 2.5 for Dandy.
Yeah, meanwhile, 3rd has been found, and there's no defense here. The bunker is going to be easily taken down, or at least force SCVs off. Now, because these Arbiters have multiple stasis available, any movement from Terran's side is going to be easily nullified. But TT1 does need to get more units across the map, because even though goons are good, you need to have a high amount of them.
Yeah, and also the Arbiter count's not that high either. I think we're still on maybe 1.5 Arbiters, and with EMPs, you got to get more than 1.
Yeah, so he does pick off quite a few units right there. The vessel.
Does TT1 have an army?
Yeah, he's got it at his net. It's just all rallied there. But yeah, he doesn't have that big of an army.
Well,
but a recall again.
Uh-oh. All right.
Oh!
Did you see that EMP missile? I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, there's his Arbiters, by the way.
He's supply blocked.
Oh, and he can't build any more units. This is not looking good for our heroes. Bob Malcolm, where are you at? The Peruvian hope.
There's just no way that he might actually be able to kill this army, but we're just going to be perma supply.
He can never build units again.
He can't build units.
After dominating TT1 in the former stage of BSL8, TT1 has gone to Protoss training school. Yeah, he's coming back, about to complete the 3-0.
He is so close to 3-0ing Dandy. He's up 30 supply. Dandy cannot build units.
He can't build vessels
Where do you build depots? Tell me where you build depots. You're not? Is that it? He can't build depots anywhere.
He's on 1 base with 1 million SCVs that can't do anything, Nyoken.
Yeah, I'm watching an Arbiter kill a tank. Like, he's actually going to kill it.
It will do it eventually, we promise.
He has no upgrades on it, doesn't matter. Meanwhile, TT1 setting up for the killing blow at mid-left because there's 1 tank, 1 bunker, 2 vultures.
I mean, we still don't have +2/+2. So we're working on 1-1, and it is the saddest 1-1 we've ever seen. Finally, the Arbiter does die to a missile turret, or is that a Goliath? I don't know. All right, mine's still good units. But I mean, his main is in shatters, tatters, shambles.
Yeah, it's just a matter of a time now. I think TT1's waiting for recall energy to go to mid-left. He's got an Arbiter at 140 energy, or he's not. He's just going to go now.
I mean, the difference is astronomical, monumental.
Oh, he found the 4th base, and that's really the majority of Dandy's mining.
Yeah. There's nothing there to defend it. He'll have a couple of tanks on the high ground. He's got stasis and recall energy, so it just doesn't matter. I think this base is going to go down. Where's our stasis?
Recall.
Yeah, he does just recall on it. Easy peasy. Kills off, I think, the last remaining tanks there. And there's just nothing to protect this base anymore.
He might even cancel +2.
No, it's going to finish. But just in the nick of time, I might add. Wait, it is going to finish. Okay, there it is. It's so close. Well, I think this is it. TT1, a dominant advantage. 170 supply. Dandy taps out, and TT1 completes the 3-0 to be the first North American player to ever place in the top 3 of a BSL.
Yeah, and that was really good. Like, he played quite well.
Ooh.
I'm surprised that he took out Dandy that easily. Like, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and it didn't even... So, obviously, there were some subpar plays by Dandy. Game number 1 doesn't scout, doesn't pull in time to stop the proxy gate. We kind of